Creepy ass guy at my job. Before I begin, this guy has been fired, and this whole story took place months and months ago. Alright, so I was hired to work at this auto shop as the front desk receptionist. My guy friend had worked there and had gotten me the job. I checked customers in, checked them out, answered phones, entered invoices, blah blah blah. Now, at this time, I got hired. I was freshly 15. I do, in fact, act mature for my age and all the horse shit. But I was still technically a child. I'm sure you even looked as a child still. I was also the only girl working there. Now, my two managers, let's call Peter and Alvin. Peter was my main boss and he had a dry sense of humor, but he was cool to be around. Alvin was more openly humorous and he was just very pleasant in general. And then was this third guy. I'll call him Chester because I hate that name. He was 40 with a girlfriend as well as a 30-year-old daughter. He was very exuberant, very loud. He was quite funny. He was a dumbass too, but this isn't the right sub. It started off decent. He will tease me like a boy on the playground, like pull my hair, poke me, etc. Now I laid my rules down. When I first worked there, I hate being touched. That's that. Reasonable. Now Chester will get as close to me as humanly possible and say, I'm not touching you, haha, you're fucking annoying. It was annoying. I just laughed it off, although I felt uncomfortable. Bro, you're a 14-year-old male adult. What are you doing? You creepy as fuck. Sorry. Then he started with the kind of sexual jokes. When we were alone up front, he will go in talking about his sex life and pop a bunch of sexual jokes. My brain was automatically like, this ain't right. It's not. You're 15. That's gross. And I just kind of put on my customer service voice whenever I was around him. Then one day I baked the whole garage cookies. When I dropped them off, he came really close to me and sniffed me. Sorry, I lost. What? You smell good and your hair looks nice this way. What the fuck? Nah, nope. Did not like that. When I went back to work, he was going on and on about the cookies. Bro, chill. Bro, chill. Chill the fuck out. I know cookie is another term for something inappropriate, but I really like your cookies. You're 40. Shut the fuck up. Why even add that up? Because he's a fucking creep. I said fuck so many times these videos. YouTube. You will do your job, right? I hate that shit. When I went back to work, he was going on and on about the cookies I made. He said, I know cookie. Oh, sorry. I lost it. And now my breaking point. He had started brushing his fingers against my leg. Nah. When I'm sitting down or just trying to flirt with me in general. When I came into work one day, he grabbed me into a hug and my mind blanked. He grabbed me into a hug so I couldn't escape. I pushed him back away from me. Alvin had rounded to the corner and had seen that happen, and he looked a little uneasy, just a little. I went the other side of the counter away from Chester and I said, I don't like to be touched, dude. Don't hug me. And he said, well, touch is how I show my affection. Well, I don't need your affection. So not only did he ignore my attempt to tell him to stop, he also admitted to literally giving affection to a 15-year-old. I later heard from my friend that works in the garage that said Chester talked about the way I look a lot and how I look older than I am. You don't. But that he doesn't want to start anything because his daughter was 2 years. Start what, bitch? Chester was ugly as well, by the way. Well, it adds up to his ugly personality. So Alvin had seen him grab me. The dudes in the garage heard him talk about me, and I knew this dude was creepy as hell. A guy in the garage, let's call him Steve, pulled Alvin aside and told him that he was worried for me. He told him what Chester had been saying and how he looks to be flirting with me. Before this point, Alvin had thought that he had been too overprotective because he had daughters himself, and maybe he was just having his father instinct. That's not. When Steve told him that, it basically confirmed his suspicions. Chester was gross. I ended up speaking to Alvin near to the end of the day, asking to stay after to talk to him about something. We stayed. Sorry. After I opened up to him about everything Chester had been doing, Alvin said that what I do is more important than the work he does. After that, I went home and felt nice that my bosses cared for me like a human and not just like an employee. Peter, my boss, texted me to tell me that everything's going to be okay and that will be handled. Oh no. I ended up meeting with Peter's dad, who is the big boss, to tell him everything. It was very much, we've known Chester for a long time, etc., etc., but big boss, it's a good man, he trusted my word more. I told him everything. He has camera recording of Chester grabbing me. Chester was fired, creepy ass motherfucker. The most traumatic thing to me was how Chester talked about me in the garage like some kind of sex object. It was disgusting. And then going back to the fact that he's 40 and I'm just 2 years older than his daughter, shit's disgusting. I'm sure that if I wasn't such a confident person, he would have taken advantage of me. He was very much acting like a predator, and I'm very glad he's no longer a part of the establishment. I'm so glad too. I hoped that he will not take revenge on you because of this. Guys, teach your daughters to speak the hell up when people make her uncomfortable. Even the little things like weird jokes turn into something bigger. That's how it is for young women nowadays. Always enforce your boundaries and never ever let a guy get away with being a creep. Edit. As another thing I'm adding here is that he was very friendly. He's the type of guy that make customers blush and will make your parents feel comfortable with the small talk. Child grooming isn't always straight up sexual advances right away. They try to get your trust in them, be their friend, and then force you into things. Be careful, ladies and men, and all in between. Well, I think she said all, and I have nothing to add up. She pointed out very, very well that you have to have boundaries, and parents teach your kids to have boundaries, to say when something is uncomfortable for them. Just say it and enforce them. Like, be straightforward about it. And yes, groomers don't always act sexual, you know. They act first friendly, and they try to be your friend, and they try to be the good guy. So when the victim accuses them or something, you will be like, that's not possible. He's such a good guy, blah blah blah, blah. You know, you know how it works, and be like, yeah, I will trust you with my blah blah blah. That's not it. Always be on guard. So yeah, thank you so much for staying with me and listening to this story. Hope you will learn something from it. Take care of you. Bye. I'm so bad at outros, like the fuck. The fuck.